Then we talk about the pricing and output policies in monopoly. Because we already know monopoly is a market structure that allows just one buyer and one seller of products in that industry. That means you have only one seller of a good or a service. And we talked about the characteristics of monopoly. There's high barriers to entry, there are price makers, there is, what else do we talk about? Single supplier and imperfect knowledge. For single supplier, it means the same as they are the only producer, it's the only producer, the monopolist is the only producer for that good or for that service. Imperfect knowledge, no one has deep analysis or deep knowledge about the product or service sold in that market. So it is known by them. So monopolists are the only ones that have information about their product. So there is an information gap in a monopoly. We call it asymmetric information. Then we talked about what again? Price maker. They are the one that sets the price. And nobody questions the price they set, which makes them to make abnormal profits. So we're now going to what we call pricing and output policies in monopoly. Because it's a monopoly, stop pricing, I said, right? In a monopoly, what happens to the supply of goods and services in a monopoly? In a monopoly, because they want to sell at a higher price, they ensure that the supply falls. There is short in supply, there's shortage of supply. As a result of that, consumers will be willing to find the product and be able to pay at any price. Do you get what I'm saying here? Monopoly, they sometimes use even price discrimination. They use different pricing strategy. Why do they use this pricing strategy? They use it because they are the only ones that can sell in that market. So their pricing strategy and output strategy is this. They ensure that the product is not that so much available in the market. There's no excess supply in the market. So as a result of that, because there's no excess supply in the market, we will always want to buy that product. And we'll be willing to pay any price for that product. Do you get what I'm saying here? Yes. Supply will be less in a monopoly, in a monopolist market. That means in monopoly, the supply is not always as what we wanted, so that they can increase the price. And we said they are price maker. So with their price maker, not because they just want to choose the price, they will choose that price based on the market situation, the demand for the product and the supply of the product. So that is how they make up their own price. So we can represent the pricing and output policies in monopoly as this. So let's say we have our quantity, then the price. So in the monopoly, please look at the board. Since they are suppliers, so we need to talk about the supply curve. So in a monopoly, the output, the quantity supplied, and the supply curve in a monopoly is always shifting to the left. Just what I'm saying there. They don't want to supply much. They don't produce much so that they cannot supply much. Do you get it? Why are they doing that? They are doing that so that the product can be more scarce in the market. It's only when the product is scarce that you can't find the product that you'll be willing to pay any price on the product. Do you get it? So in a monopoly, the supply curve is always shifting leftward from S1 to S2. And as a result of that, the quantity supplied to the market will contract. from Q1 to Q2, which will make the price to increase from P1 to P2. This is a typical monopoly. This output is less. The quantity supplied is contracting. As a result of that, the price will rise. Do we understand?
Yes.
Any question about monopoly? So that's it. So prices will fall, prices will increase from P1 to P2. The quantity supplied will shift leftward from S1 to S2. And the quantity supplied will contract from Q1 to Q2. Is it clear?
Yes.
So look at my analysis. Stop it, please. Just look at the analysis. I said, due to the pricing strategies used by a monopoly, it ensures the output is less as shifting the supply curve leftward from S1 to S2, sorry, from S1 to S2, which in turn contracts the quantity supplied from Q1 to Q2 and increase the price from P1 to P2. I think it's clear. So in the example, they ask you about the pricing policy and output of a monopoly. This is the answer. So the output policy of a monopoly is always a leftward shift in supply. The pricing policy of a monopoly is an increase in price. And the quantity supplied of a monopoly is a leftward. It's also what? A contraction from Q1 to Q2. I think it's clear.